Welcome to another episode of the Urban Wall Street Project. I'm your host, Mr. Earl Christian III, and once again, I'm going to bless you with a beautiful woman who's here to share some experiences and share her visions and her message that she has for so many young people. So if you're a mother, you're a grandmother, you're a sister, you're a father, brother out there, pay close attention because she's worked with some of our young sisters, helped them change their lives around. I'm fortunate I'll be able to read a success story from some of the people that she's worked with, and one particular young lady who's doing her thing now. And I'm very happy to have her in the audience. In the studio with me. But she is definitely in the audience, and if you're an audience at home watching, you're going to appreciate it. But without any further ado, I'd like to introduce Miss LaVanne Hammond, the founder of A Lady Must. Miss Hammond, I'm so happy to have you as a part of my show.
So happy to be here.
Thank you. The Urban Wall Street Project, so many people may have been watching, and we talk about financial literacy, and we talk about economic empowerment, but it's important for urban America to know that there's a lot more things that go into the dynamics of the urban Wall Street. It's not always about money. It's about how to correct social conditions, how to correct personal conditions, and how to be the better person that you want to be for yourself. So when I read over your information, I'm like, a lady must. I was really feeling that, because sometimes women or young females might not always feel that they're a lady, and we have to kind of reemphasize that and reiterate the point that you are a lady. Maybe you might just have to brush off a little bit of, your shoulders or whatever, but there's definitely a lady there, kind of like a diamond in the rough. But a lady must. That is your baby. That's your brainchild. Tell me what led you to create A Lady Must, and when did you start it?
Well, I started in April 2002. What started me with the program is that I was working in a group home at Lincoln Watts. And I'm telling you, I had 40 girls to watch. I was doing a night shift. And their language, their unhappiness, they had no type of pride. They didn't feel good about themselves. Everything was negative. So two girls were arguing. So I said, ladies don't act like that. And they turned to me and they said, you call us a lady? So I said, sure, you ladies. And just at that point, I started with A Lady Must. A Lady Must is a program to teach our students self-confidence through a variety of activities, because the majority of our students lack the social and confidence skills that are necessary to function in school or at work. The club's goal is to educate our students and improve their behavior in a social setting. The club will teach students how to get along with others, how to work independently and as a team, and how to learn from our mistakes.
Excellent. That's so beautiful. That's a beautiful situation. And we recognize that. That's the goal, and that's the key, and that's what has to drive you in no matter what you do. Learn from your mistakes. Work independently. And also work interdependently. See, independently, as you've heard me say, is a beautiful thing. We all want to be independent. We all strive for that personal satisfaction, that personal excellence. But when you become a part of a movement, interdependency is essential, because we all can't get it if we're all not working together. And that's a real beautiful thing. As I read over the information, I came across so many things. And if you don't mind, can I read the mission statement for my people?
Sure, yes.
I read it, my people, but I didn't get a chance to memorize it. But I didn't want to do it a disservice and not memorize it. But just understand the mission statement of what A Lady Must is. A Lady Must is committed to provide training for at-risk youth with special needs, focusing upon developing skills to encourage and reinforce appropriate social etiquette and communication skills. And that's a beautiful thing. In addition, the program helps participants acquire confidence and build self-esteem. We know how key self-esteem is in our communities by teaching them how to recognize and apply appropriate social and communication skills. Once again, what do we talk about? Addressing those social skills, correcting and enhancing our communication skills. And also all of this while making them aware of how their behavior affects others in social, academic, and work-related environments. And that is so key and is so critical to everything that we do in urban America. I work with young students And sometimes the language that comes out of the mouth and the respect that they may have for themselves and elders or other women, it's almost seemingly like the young ladies' mouths are worse than the men's mouths or the young boys' mouths.
True.
So it's an amazing situation. But I know you worked with a lot of young ladies, and I have a success story that I want to read a little bit later on in the program for my people.
Yes.
But tell me, what have been some of the joys? And since you started Lady Must, just in the transitions, tell me about some of the experiences, tell me about some of the lives and you've watched in our babies change. Tell me about some of them.
First of all, I would like to say, since 2002, it's now a bilingual program.
Excellent.
We have so many more young ladies, Hispanic, that's coming into the program. I watch young ladies when they come in and they dressed inappropriately. And before, when I first used to talk to them, don't tell me how to dress. Now, after they've been in the program for a couple of months, they learn how to dress. They learn how to speak. They learn how to interact. They learn how to just be a lady, and that is to accept yourself. These are the program steps. Appreciate, be yourself, know yourself, love yourself, respect yourself. And when they come in the program and they start with one a month, it changes them. And it's just that whatever it is that God gave me, I'm very grateful that I have this opportunity to see the changes in our young ladies.
Excellent, excellent.
Yes.
You know, we all have to have our angels on earth, and you definitely are reflecting that of an angel and a queen, and that's a beautiful thing, and I'm blessed to have you here. When I sit here and I look at you and I'm listening to your language and I'm reading over your materials, something comes to mind because it's so hard, I know, to get people back on the right path. There's so many different obstacles, so many different adversities, so much different luggage that a lot of our young people are carrying. Exactly. That myself, I know I didn't have to deal with it, and you might not have had to because the world is immensely different than when I was a teenager. But tell me, what's for some of our young ladies or young brothers that's out there, mothers, fathers that's out there, so that they don't feel like their case is so isolated and then no one else can relate? Tell me some of the obstacles that the young ladies have come to the program, and the program is located at Lincoln Watts.
Lincoln Watts, yes it is.
Tell me some of the obstacles that you've recognized that these ladies had to overcome.
Mainly, a lot of them have been abused. A lot of them just have an ear that if they dress a certain way, that makes them a lady. The most important is their education. A lot of them had dropped out of school, and they just didn't have anyone to help or to discuss. Most of their mothers were out on drugs, broken homes. So what I did was try to, each one that I had come in contact with, they all had a different need. And I was just blessed, maybe from God, to see that need. Sometimes I would just maybe hold their hand or just ask them, what do you want to eat today? Or tell me what you did over the weekend, or what would you like to do? Different things like that.
Right.
And they started coming around. They would just start opening up and say, well, Miss Hammond, do you think I could go here or I could do this? The trust that I've gained from them, the trust.
Do you think that, how should I say, do you think that when a lot of girls first come into the program, they have no idea where they're going or how they're going to get there, or if they can even get there, will somebody really be there steps of the way to help me get it done?
Exactly. They all coming with that. They don't feel that they belong in the program. They curse, they fight, they said nah. But it's just the idea of being sincere and reaching out. And going beyond, too, because sometimes some of the young ladies, they have, their mouths. And so it takes a little expertise. It takes a little pulling deep, going deep down.
Right.
And time, a lot of time.
And that's really true. Time is very important. And what I wanted to ask you, because like I said, I mentor and I tutor young individuals, and a lot of times I see kids that, the school may have written off, oh, that kid, please, is a problem kid, let's just put him wherever. But I look into people's souls. I look into your eyes, and in my experience, a lot of the young people I've come across, they all want the right thing. So many of them have been dissuaded by people who are there to encourage you and haven't, and they don't feel or they don't represent I say publicly or externally, what they truly want. But when I look into the souls of some of these young people, I see that diamond that's trying to get the coal scraped off so they can truly shine. I know you have a success story. There's a particular student you worked with who came into your program, and you know, I'm sure she's very near and dear to your heart. But before I give you the opportunity to expound upon her, I would like to read her success story for my people at home. All right?
Sure, yes.
This young lady is her success story. She said, I arrived at Lincoln Watts in November 2003 at the age of 16. Those first few nights, I was very sad and depressed. I remember hearing about a small group of girls who were in a program called A Lady Must. I remember hearing what the program stood for. At the time, no one really liked me. My hair was never done, and I didn't care how I looked. Everyone called me crazy. However, I remember passing the library one day. Going in, I met Mrs. Hammond. The first time we ever met, something was there, an instant chemistry and respect for one another. She took me under her wing. I called her Mommy. She was my guardian angel. That was my rebirth as a brand new person, or better yet, as a lady. You see, A Lady Must is a program built on morals, principles, and self-value to make women strong in every aspect of their lives and to be a lady in all that they do. It also helps to develop social skills as well as creative learning skills. It teaches you how to interact better with others in all your surroundings. Philosophies of A Lady Must: appreciate herself, know herself, accept herself, love herself, be herself, trust herself, honor herself, and above all, and certainly without least, respect herself. With each and every one of these tools, you will become a successful lady. Because of this program and the tools Mrs. Hammond has installed in my life, it has extremely changed. I now reside in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm 19 years old. I have my own apartment as well as a job. I'm in the process of writing a book. For those of you that know how much I love to dance, I've done many auditions. I performed with an artist for Jive Records, and I've done a video with Bone Crusher, Mike Myers, and Miss Cherry. Now I have landed a job as a dancer choreographer with a signed artist that is in the process of coming out. I not only owe God thanks every day and moment of my life, but I also should thank my mother, my guardian angel, Miss Hammond. I love you and I thank you. I will continue to be a lady and take A Lady Must with me everywhere I go. Love you. Peace and many blessings. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing right there. You know what I'm saying? If I wasn't on TV right now, I'd show my sensitive side and shed a tear. Now, tell me about this young lady. Tell me her name and your first meeting with this woman.
Her name is Deshauna Smith. She would come to the school every time I see her, and I would stop and I said, what's the matter? She would pull away and say, nothing. So the 2 or 3 times it happened. And then one day she just knocked on my class door. And she said, may I speak to you? Can I speak to you? So I said, sure. What do you want to talk about? I said, but if you're going to speak to me, let's be truthful. Okay. And she opened up right then. Then I told her about the program. And she said she's so thankful to meet someone like me because she was going out on weekends, dancing nude. So I tried to show her, like you said, a lady must respect herself. And she started little by little working with me in the program. And then she found out, brought many young ladies in, and used to always aspire and tell them, you know, Miss Hammond is this. And they started. But the main thing, like we said, to teach them to respect yourself, and you have to be sincere. You cannot be phony with the young ladies. You have to, if you have your word, you have to give them your word. Sometimes I'm up 3, 2 in the morning because I promised to do something, but once you do that, once you water their souls, you start seeing them growing into the young ladies God intended them to become.
Definitely. Now let me ask you, sometimes, one of my, I guess, I won't say my downfalls, but I wanted to really be the one to save the world. I really felt that I could save everyone. Like, I believe everyone is reachable. You just have to, you just got to keep trying. But then reality might kick in, and sometimes maybe everyone can't be reachable. I still don't believe that. That's why I have this show, because I can reach some individuals. But when you first met this young lady, did at any point in time, did you instantly feel like I can reach her and she can take herself somewhere? And I'm sure you may have come across women.
I came across
who I don't know if I can, really move this child. But this child, did you feel like you could move her?
I felt that, but there were others that I didn't feel I could. Because there's so many different avenues you have to take. See, the 7 steps, the 8 steps. Another young lady, like I have something here that I brought. She was like sexual, everything men.
Right.
So I found something and I read it to her, and she started crying. She said, "Oh, that's how I am. Men, I love men and they don't love me, and I think that's what I'm here for." So the approach, and to really dig deep, because some of our children are so marked, they're really in bad forms, especially our young ladies.
Young ladies.
Yes.
If I may ask, approximately how many young ladies have you feel you've worked with over the past 4 years? Because it's about 4 years right now.
4 years.
With this particular program.
I had 39 in the school.
39 currently.
And I worked, 39. And with the ones that left, about 44.
About 44. It's a beautiful thing. Tell me, what has been your biggest obstacle? Because, the world is huge, but it's 6 degrees of separation. It's really small, and there's all a lot of similar dynamics and dichotomies that we share. What's been, I guess, I may have asked this question again, but I'll paraphrase. If you took the 39 that you have right now, they all probably have a similarity. There's always probably some one defining factor that kind of connects them all.
Yes.
What do you think is that one defining characteristic or trait or experience that it kind of connects them all?
That each one of them had a part of them that was, I don't want to say that was dormant, a part that was needed watering, needed to be touched. Some was about their parents, some had certain things in their childhood they didn't want to speak about, but we got to it because once they trust you, they begin to give you information or tell you stories. So that helps you to help them.
Right.
But that's very hard because so many of them have so many secrets and they don't share. But the 40 girls that I've shared, that I've helped, I found that spot with their help.
And can you tell me some of the things that, we know with this young lady here, she's branching into the music industry as a dancer, choreographer, and that can take her to the stratosphere. She stays focused and she sounds focused, and she has her head on right. She has some ideals and morals to hold on to that she can build upon. But some of the other young ladies who have gone on from your school and who have, shared what you hear brought to them, you have some other stories about some of them are they in college or
I have 2 young ladies who also, they moved to, I can't remember where, but they're roommates and they're starting, like your other show, a business.
Okay.
Something like a lady must with young ladies. So I can't remember exactly where they moved to, but they write and they call me and they tell me, well, Mommy, we're doing this and we're doing that. And that is also a success story.
Definitely.
That's a success story.
They're taking a piece of what they learned from you, and now they're spreading almost like you are the root. Yes. And you have legs now, and they're spreading the Lady Must philosophies and ideals to other young ladies who might be going through that same thing. So I'm going to give you an opportunity. I want you to look directly in the camera. We got some young ladies that watch it right now. I have young junior high school students who get up at 7 o'clock in the morning to check the show out because they want to just see what it's all about. And if you could tell one thing to young ladies, whether they're on the right track, they're off the right track, or they're teetering on both tracks, jumping from track to track, working with so many young ladies who had so many different, I won't say atrocities, but adversities.
Exactly.
What would you like to tell your young daughters out there? That's your camera right there, dear.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to tell you that a lady must be persistent. You must set a goal for your life that demands your best. You have to develop a burning desire to make it happen. Keep your eye on your goal. Refuse to listen to negative criticism, and surround yourself with encouraging people. In every defeat, look for the personal lesson. Practice self-control, ladies. Believe you can reach your goal. And last but not least, rely upon God to enable you.
No doubt. And last but not least is at the top of the list, middle of the list, the bottom of the list, the segue through, believe in yourself, believe in God, because that's what you need.
That's what
you don't need that particular man, you don't need that particular friend, but you need God without question. Now, I'm not here to tout any particular religion, but you have to have faith. Okay? You have to have faith and know that whatever you want, God will bring you to it and through it. But it's important that you believe in yourself. Okay? And that's the beautiful thing. I'm sitting here and I've created different programs, and I'm hopeful that, at some point in time I'm able to, sit down with yourself and some of the ladies you've worked with, the young ladies who want to get into business and maybe, opens up some doors and then introduce them to people that can, help fulfill and bring some of those dreams to fruition. But while I'm here, I want to ask you, how receptive now? I mean, I'm sure when you first started it was probably almost like maybe pulling teeth to get girls to come in and listen to you. But after 4 years, how receptive of it? Is it almost now you have standing room only? Like, listen, ladies, I can't even talk to you right now. My plate is full. Tell me about the receptivity now.
Exactly. I mean, I have no less than 40 girls a day. The principal even sends 8 girls up a day, so 48. And I guess that's from seeing some of the young ladies that they thought would never become successful or would never get their GED or never graduate from school. So they all come in, and they come in now with at least loving themselves, appreciating themselves, and accepting themselves. So those 3 I don't have to worry about anymore, not the whole, 8 steps. So that's what I feel it is. They see from their own eyes how some of the young ladies have turned around. And that's the best part of it, because some of the young ladies that bring them in that went through the program, they say, come on, Miss Hammond, here, you got to help her because she needs you right now.
Miss Hammond.
Yes, and like I said, the main thing I do also, I have a group of girls, about 20, that love men. So I always have something for them to read to let them understand that you have to love yourself. And they get it. They come around. I'm really, really blessed and grateful because none of my young ladies have become pregnant. And that was number one. They all was pregnant at one time.
Wow.
So I'm happy with that. I've taught them that if you are successful, you have your GED or your high school diploma, you're working, you have your own apartment, you have so many things, and you're going to meet a man with just one thing, and you're going to give it all up.
Right.
So they know now what I'm talking about. So now they talk differently. No, you have a job. Do you have this? What are your plans?
Right.
Now they ask questions.
Right.
Before, the guy come and say, let's go here, go there, and they come back crying because the guy whatever, and now they ask questions. They are proud of what they learn, and so every time they meet a guy, it's not just you like me or whatever. They ask them, you working? What are you doing in school?
Right.
So that's really where it really has been most successful.
And I can only imagine. It has to be a beautiful feeling. As we read A Lady Must and do several different philosophies as far as appreciating herself, accepting herself, and all those things, ladies and gentlemen out there, it's all relative to self-preservation. Exactly. It's very important that you preserve yourself, because if you do not honor yourself, you do not respect yourself, you're not preserving the nature of who you are. You're not preserving that entity, that creation that's manifested in you. So it's very important that you understand you need one before you can have the other. And I'm just happy to be able to bring someone who's worked with young ladies and in that environment and showing them a better way, showing them that you don't have to take your clothes off to have a good time. There was a song with that exact title some years back. You know what I'm saying? You have to respect yourself. You got to love yourself. And if you're around people that don't love you, that don't give you what you know you deserve, whether you've ever gotten it before in your life, if you're around people that don't give you what you feel you need and you deserve, they're not your friends.
Correct.
You have to remove them from the equation. I hope if you're at home, my brothers, my sisters, my mothers, my grandmothers, my uncles, my fathers, if you have daughters, if you have sons, teach them to respect these women. Teach them the ideals and philosophies of a lady must, so they'll know what a man must do. I want to thank my guest, the beautiful Miss LaVanne Hammond, who's working with our children. This has been the Urban Wall Street Project. I'm Earl Christian III, your host. All I can bring you is the truth, the best and the best for our urban American communities and all communities at large. I hope you learned something. I hope you appreciate the message. God bless. See you next time. Peace.
Whoa, you are